do emotion play any role in understanding ourselves, in going to the truth? Or does it have any connection with the value system or not? We felt that emotions vary from this extreme to the other extreme. Uske few examples which we have taken. Emotions can be sensual on one side, but the same emotions can be sublime on the other side. It can be very personal on one extreme, it could become very impersonal on the other side. From selfish to unselfish, there is a big gap between selfish and unselfish. हमने पहले आपको जैसे बताया कि human being can be mineral human beings. जो totally self-centric है, अपना सिर्फ देखता है, वो is equated with the mineral. कोई movement नहीं है उसमें, कुछ evolution नहीं है उसमें. और जो आदमी सबका भला सोचता है, he is a evolved human being or human being. And then preferential to universal. That's what we say. These are the emotions. Sum total of the above, these 5-6 things which we discussed, life, code of living, and action to activity, all these things, they convert the frail form of emotion into a pillar of strength. If the emotions are selfless, if the emotions are universal, if they are sublime, they become your strength. Otherwise, emotions can be very big weakness. Do you recognize, remember any action in your life when you felt the emotion became your weakness?
I am sharing my incident. It is 3 to 4 years back. I have seen one drug abused boy on the streets, and at that time I was more helpless because I am not able to understand how can I help that boy, because
and
there
the
are
boy
some
was dying in front of you.
Not actually dying, but the guy was totally drug abused. He is
Drug abuse, okay.
Yeah, he was totally drug abused, and he is not in the state so that he can move or he can go anywhere. But I am more helpless because I am seeing that boy is sitting in front of me and I cannot do anything. So at that time I was emotionally weak.
Any other experience, any other incidents?
I saw a man along with a lady and 2 small children. So that man told me that I was in Ajmer at that time. I have lost my every money somewhere. I want to go back to Rampur. I live in Rampur. You please take my luggage and give me some money. So I thought first that he is making fool of me. But by seeing that small child, so I thought that he may be 1% right. So I gave him 1,000 rupees. He gave me his number. Then he immediately went away. When I called him after 5 minutes, the phone was not reachable. So by emotions, I got full on that day, but just I took chance that he may be 1% right. So I can help him. These children can go back to their
So
homes.
you had a universal emotion that moment, yeah, rather than a preferential emotion.
Yeah.
You could have preferred not to think about your logic, and you could have preferred not to give that money.
Yeah.
But that moment you said, what if 1% this person is saying, what he's saying is right? You would have probably have regrets. So and universal emotion became much heavier on you that moment.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes.
So, sir, I'd like to quote an incident whereby there was this beggar sitting on the roadside, and she had 3 kids. So, as I was moving towards, I was going somewhere. So the kids, they came running to me asking for money, and it was very, very risky because the road was very busy. So at that point of time, I felt like, why are these children doing like that? Like, I got irritated at first. But then I thought it's not their fault. This is what they have learnt right from the beginning. And as I was filled with anger, I literally scolded that lady, their mother. And I asked her, why on earth you have so many kids? You can't afford them. You don't deserve to have these kids. You can't spoil their life. And her response was, pata nahi madam, ho jate hain. And that made me felt so powerless. It made me feel so stupid, and it felt like the everything I'm trying to do, like the education, everything, it's going down the drain, because we can't really change that situation. And I know I'm wrong in saying that we can't really change that situation, but I'm not really sure if we'll be able to change the situation in its entirety. So the thing is that there's this constant dilemma, there's this constant conflict between what we want to do and what we can do. So whenever we think about doing something positive, it just comes into my mind that I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that completely. And if I think that way, then I start feeling that I didn't even try that, and still I'm feeling that way.
I have a similar incident. There is a body called World Vision, which takes care of orphan children. And as a volunteer, what you can do is you can sponsor a child's education. So I am associated with that body, and I am sponsoring a few children. In my life, I personally had a financial meltdown because I had invested some money in startups and lost a lot of money, where my personal bank balance went in a lot of negative. So the emotion which became my weakness at that point was helplessness, because I knew that I have to constantly invest in these people. But this helplessness emotion at that point, when I didn't have money, overpowered me. And at some point I had to stop funding them. That became my weakness. Although I knew that I can loan out some money from friends, but that situation was such, I didn't know how to act. Should I loan out money, because I am personally in a very bad debt situation.
Yeah, so the selfish emotions became more powerful than unselfish emotions.
Helplessness and selfishness, yeah.
That led to helplessness. Your emotional situation at that moment was being selfish. कि भाई मेरा खुद का ही हालत फाइनेंशियली ख़राब है, मैं इसको और करके दूंगा तो कहीं से लोन लेके दूंगा, तो लोन कैसे चुकाऊंगा, तो क्या करूंगा. So selfish emotion became more powerful. Yes.
This incident which I would like to narrate is in 2012 in Bangalore. I was associated with an NGO. That NGO used to give training to students or the people those are searching for job, and on the basis of the training which they get, they are able to find jobs. Now what happened that I was in a shop and I was purchasing some grocery, and a lady came to the shopkeeper and asked whether with a boy, and she asked whether the shopkeeper can give some job to the boy. And I just overheard all that, and the shopkeeper said, no, I cannot give any job, I don't have any job, and the lady along with the boy left. That time I overheard, and I thought, why can't I help? And that emotion gave me the strength to, after that I followed that lady. I just tried to find out where she is along with the boy, and she was near in the locality. I just approached her and I asked her that she was looking for a job for the boy. She said yes. Then I said, see, I know an NGO which can help your child. Then she gave me, we decided next day I will take that boy to the NGO. Next day that boy came to my house. I took him to the NGO. There we asked about how old he is. He was a minor, so the NGO couldn't give the training to the boy, but they gave him a good counseling and spoke to his mother and allowed make them to go school, because the boy was avoiding school because of some reasons, and that's why his mother was trying to find a job for him. So this is how the emotion gave me strength to act, to help someone.
Very good. Very good.